you are aware of Suno and what that is, have the rest of you?
It's like AI generating machine, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah,
okay.
where, basically it's an AI software platform that you can instead of learning to produce music, you can just say, "Hey, I want an '80s pop sound," or let's do it in Christian music. I want a worship sound that sounds like Elevation, lyrically is based off of this song by Chris Tomlin. This is the mood, this is the moment, and it will create that for you. And it's getting so good that it can put pretty realistic vocals over the top of it now. And it's a brand new thing. It's a brand new song. The problem is that to get that, the AI is analyzing pretty much all the music in the world to learn how to make these songs, which means it's technically taking from every artist's catalog. So it's like it's kind of getting wild because I don't know if you guys saw what is it, Ray Solomon, Solomon Ray. Um,
Mhm.
if you look him up, Christian artist, he's AI and he's
Yeah.
popping off. And now you've got a fake fictional character in the streaming pool. So now, artist royalties are being split with someone that can't even write or produce. They just like being an artist and they're able to release music as cheaply and affordably as quickly as possible. So it's kind of just opening up this whole new world. Obviously, the big three, like Trace was saying, the Warners, the Sonys, the Universals, are pretty pissed about it. So they've been in trials with them. And I believe what just happened was Warner actually signed a catalog deal, a licensing deal now with Suno,
Correct.
where Suno will essentially, I don't know the inner workings of it yet, but they're getting paid, they have to be getting paid some sort of percentage of profits or something from the streaming royalties or the Suno platform or whatever, that I would assume could at some point be diversified, like spread out amongst the artists' songs in that catalog.
Yeah, the same thing is happening again that happened with Spotify. If you're ever bored on a long Thanksgiving drive, get the audiobook about, I think it's just Spotify, the Daniel Ek version. It shows the whole story about how we transitioned from like iTunes, Napster, and then like Spotify. Basically, what he did was he he just tried to get one label to sign with Spotify to get their catalog in there, and then he leveraged that labels against the other ones. So basically, it's he created partnership deals with all the majors, and I'm wondering if the same thing is happening again with Suno, where it's like if you can't beat them, buy into the company, and then partner
100%.
partner up with them. So I'm assuming they have some sort of rev share and catalog
Yeah,
share, and then now the other
Yeah.
two big three labels
fall in line.
have to
Yeah.
join. Yeah, otherwise they're gonna get cooked.
What does that mean for independence going forward? Well, I have a feeling that the landscape of music's gonna shift because I think there's inevitably going to have to be two types of music on platforms. There's gonna have to be made by humans, and then there's gonna have to be stuff listed that it's AI. Now,
Mhm.
will most of the population who, is kinda lifeless and doesn't pay attention to what they listen to, inevitably probably listen to a lot of the AI music? I would assume so. I would assume so, but I'll tell you what, something is still off with me. When I hear an AI song, it doesn't I can still feel it. It doesn't matter how accurate it is. I can feel that it's AI. It's like it's missing a soul.
I think there's a divide between these AI tools. It's like there's with the Chat GPT, there's like the laziness aspect, but there's also like a lot of AI that can challenge you. Like you could get like I was just playing around, for example, with Suno of like, playing around with the guitar and like the fact that it can crank out so many different track ideas, like that could really challenge your writing and the fact that like it could eliminate some of that friction. Um, I think there's a lot of tools there to help you with melodies and things like that. Also, like lyrics, you kind of start getting in that world again where it's like it's starting to write the lyrics for you. Especially there's this weirdness, especially in Christian music. So that's I would probably steer away from that side, especially if it's like Christian with theologically stuff. But for the track stuff, I think it could really help with the writing process and write more and get like really just like exercise that writing muscle.
And if it's going to write the lyrics, I would absolutely not just be like, "That's my song. Copy, paste, done, release." No. Like, there might be an idea in there, a line or 2 that you could play around with. Maybe you build off of that. That's what I would assume they're trying to get ahead of the curve so that when some type of law passes, that anything that required ChatGPT or AI to create the music needs to give a portion that they're, like, ready for it, that they
Got
can.
it. Yeah.
I would assume that's what they're trying to get ahead of, but it's also interesting because I see how that's more fair if it's an AI artist or song that's like, "Okay, this is AI, like, this is blatantly AI," as opposed to you used it to get a song idea and then you rewrote the whole thing and reworked the whole thing, and it's like you almost can't even tell, because I think there is AI that's going to be able to track AI produced songs. I don't know if there's gonna be AI that's gonna be able to say, "Well, this idea was in this song."
Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna like, that's what we do now, right? Like, you're pulling from all the songs you've ever listened to in your life when you're creating music.
Right.
I will say this, guys, final thoughts on the whole AI thing, because I know the internal need or desire to kinda shift into, like, this fear mode of, like, "What's gonna happen to independent artists? It's gonna be impossible for me to, like, make it and make a career," and, like, there's this part of you that might wanna shift into that mindset. I will say this, I think authenticity will still be the highest value, and showing up authentically as you on social media, showing up authentically as you in your music, there is still going to be a need and a desire for that, for your message, for your brand, for you as a human. Will you potentially be competing against more AI content and more AI music? Yeah, probably. But if you really focus on the personal relationships, the connections, and building real fans, I don't think you're gonna have a problem, with these algorithms still supporting you. That's the whole point here is, like, we're trying right now with our business model to lean more into authenticity, to lean more into our journey and our story to get here. I would hope that our story relates with you guys because 5 years ago, we were both working part-time worship director positions and teaching music lessons on the side, trying to figure out how the heck to get our music to grow before any of this existed. That's where we were at, and I think it's that journey, that story where it's like, "Oh, wow, these guys did it. We can learn directly from them and relate to them, and they're being authentic and sharing." It's like, that story is inspiring, and I think that's where musicians and artists are really gonna have to lean into in this next wave of music with AI because, AI can fake that to a certain extent, but again, it's your story, your journey, your soul that people are going to feel, and ideally that they will be attracted to. And I guess my question for this too is like, how many of you feel like you're being as authentic on your social media platforms as you really could be? How many of you are like really, really wearing your heart on your sleeve and just letting people be in on your journey, your story as you go, as opposed to here's a music video, here's me playing live, everything's great, here's something inspired, like my favorite Bible verse over the cover art, like as opposed to like letting them see the highs and the lows. Eleni, I know I made a post about this tonight, but like a great example is that cover, that clip, that short that you released going viral in the last couple days on your Instagram. It's like it was such a raw and authentic take on that song, that was just you. Like, it had a Lenny written all over this thing, and the content is totally in your brand, and people resonated with it, right? I think the world that we're moving into is authenticity wins, and that's just something to keep in mind.